welcome to the Sim Podcast. I'm your co-host Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What a run!
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, this is episode 138. We are going into week number 12. How are you feeling? Are you nervous? Are you in a good place? Because last week you were not in a good place.
Yeah, I was numb last week. I'm still numb. I'm not holding out any hope at this point. I still, Ravens are right behind the Steelers at this point. I think they'll pass us. My feelings haven't changed. I need to see something, the next 2 or 3 weeks that can prove me wrong.
Yes. Let's see if they have any fight.
Yeah.
I think this week you have a good opponent.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the agenda? We're going to talk about the NFL news. We're going to review last week's games, our season total. We'll have our PowerPoint rank. Why do I say PowerPoint? Power rankings for the week 12. We're going to have our game predictions, game picks, and then we're going to preview our own team's picks, followed by the upset special. Ron, and I want to start with the news, and I want to start with Chase. Jamar Chase is going to be out for this game against New England. Where are you on Spitgate?
I thought he went through the appeal, and they basically left the 1-game suspension, let it stand. So I thought, honestly, they were going to let him play. Don't know why. There's precedent out there to suspend them, players for one game. So it is what it is. He put himself in a bad situation. He was extremely frustrated throughout the game because he wasn't getting a lot of targets. So we did a good job of covering him, and we're playing physical with him, and it boiled over. And spitting on someone is completely uncalled for. So it's deserved.
Yeah, that was very Bush League. That was, and I know he's, mad about the defense not trying and all that, but what he did was Bush League, and he deserved a suspension. He definitely deserved. Staying with the AFC North, looks like Sanders is going to start for Cleveland. Is this going to improve their chances?
No, not at all. They, both their quarterbacks, no one was high on them, right? They're mid to late round picks. They haven't played well all season, including the preseason. They're just not getting the development either, I think, that they need. There's a lack of weapons there for sure at the receiver position. So, no, I don't think it changes anything. I hope Sanders plays well, but for what I've seen from his time playing, especially like that last preseason game, he has a long way to go to be a NFL quarterback, even a backup in the league.
Now, does this signal the end of Kevin Stefanski?
I don't know. I think it would be in his best interest to move on because that franchise has no idea what they're doing. So
you think the longer he stays there, the more tarnish his legacy?
Oh, absolutely.
If there is any left.
Right. Exactly. Because, I think first it was like the media saying, I think, overestimating how much talent they have on the team a couple years ago and placing them in the playoffs when, in terms of talent, there hasn't been a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. Defense has been good. That really has been the issue. It's been good for a number of years, but offensively, it's been a struggle for sure. And then with the quarterback situation, them trading or, getting rid of Mayfield, him having an MVP type, season at one point this year to where they're at now, with not having a competent starting quarterback, and to losing like trading Flacco too, who's also played well. They don't know what they're doing. It's the Browns, so the Browns are the Browns. The Browns is the Browns. So it's kind of what you would expect from a dysfunctional franchise.
Yeah, this is just within the MO basically of what how they do business. Also, news from the AFC North: Burrow was practicing today. Does that mean he'll be ready for the Patriots or be ready for the game after?
This is where there's like conflicting information, because he was listed as a full participant, but there's also a report out there that they'll say there was no way that he'd be able to play because he hasn't really even participated in like 11 on 11 yet. So I don't think he'll be ready this week, but it's certainly a possibility for the following week for him to be out there. So, his recovery, he's way ahead of schedule. But with the loss last week, it's just they're in the same boat as they were last year. They can win every single game from here on out, but not necessarily be guaranteed a spot. So if I'm him, if I'm the GM, the coach, I'm not necessarily rushing him back at all, even though he wants to play.
Yeah, that's what my next question is. You're mathematically out. So what?
Not yet, but your chance of getting in
it's very slim. Very slim. I mean, if you look at the standing, I know there's some congestion in the middle, but they're basically out. But why would you come back when your offensive line stinks and your defense stinks? Yeah.
Well, it's the same situation like last year, right? He came back and he tried to will them, to playoff, but fell short. The defense is terrible. The worst in the league, probably, or one of the worst in the league. So, I don't see, that it all of a sudden getting fixed, past the halfway point at this point. If I'm him, I'm sitting the rest of the season. And honestly, if I'm him, if I'm Jamar, if I'm Higgins, they need to figure out like what's the better approach, what's the right approach, because putting all the money into like the offense and allowing the defense to fall and fail as much as they have has not worked, especially these last couple of years. So they got to figure something out, collectively.
To be honest, I think they need to clean house. Just like the Browns, they need to clean house and just... Actually, if I'm being quite honest, I think the whole AFC North needs to just clean house. I'm talking about even Tomlin, even Harbaugh. I mean, what's going on? Are you just going to be, 500 forever and beat each other up in the division? And I don't know what's going on. Like, you need something to shake you guys up. Because you haven't won the Super Bowl.
They're there, right? They're always there.
I mean, when was the last time that division won a Super Bowl? When the Steelers won it?
But I could say the same thing about the Bills, right? When's the last time?
The Bills never won it. They have not won it. They haven't even been
always there and never make it. So those coaches that are like right on the precipice but never get over the hump, whether it's Harbaugh or the Bills coach, I think at some point, your time runs out. I just don't know if we're there yet with those coaches. Tomlin, I think it's a different story because, having a winning record is not sufficient. Not having a playoff win for 8+ years, I think that's more reason for them to, clean house, like you said. But it won't happen. It's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen. But I'm just saying, like, Baltimore, it's a powerhouse, but not really. Because you were like, every year is either the Bills or Baltimore to win it all, and they don't. Somebody else from the NFC does it. So, like,
what's been the Chiefs? It's been the Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs and the Eagles. I mean, it's been everybody else except those two teams. So Stroud out, Penix out. It's who's gonna be hurting the most here with these two quarterbacks out?
Well, I think both, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the records, the standings, and both teams are still in position to make a playoff push, right? They're not mathematically out of it. Houston's sitting there at 5-5 with David Mills, but they need Stroud back, right? And then Atlanta, what's their record? They're 3-7. They got a longer way to go with Kirk Cousins, who, we saw him last year. So I think Atlanta's pretty much cooked at 3-7, 0-3 in the division. As I'm looking at the standings now, although Tampa only has 6 wins, Carolina has 6 wins. I can't see Atlanta all of a sudden coming back and making it. So
Houston might be, because they're sitting there at 5-5. They're one game behind Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And who are they playing this week?
Let's see. Who do they have this week?
So they're playing Buffalo Bills. Wow.
Yeah,
Thursday night. So really, this is. Could you say this is a must-win game, or
not necessarily for that division? But you don't want to fall too far behind, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he sat last week. David Mills won that game, but then he's going to sit this week as well because apparently he's not at 100%.
I'm looking at the conference standings at this point, and obviously Houston's on the outside looking in, but teams that are like right around 7th seed have 4 or 5 losses. So, they probably need to try to win out at this point to secure a position in the playoffs.
Yeah, because right now they're in 8th place, right below Jacksonville. So, I hate those. Okay, well, if the season ends today, they'll be out, but you just never know. The season doesn't end today.
Yeah.
And for all we know, I know the Chargers are off this week. I think they have a bye week, but that can, it only takes 1 week for that to shift. So,
hey.
All right. So let's look at last week's game. For the season, you're up 107 to my 101, up by 6 points. Ron, this is what happens when you're mad at your team and you double down on it.
Yeah.
And now you're back.
Listen, you still got a ways to go. Time is winding down at this point. And I think this week, we're pretty much choosing a lot of the same teams here. So opportunity to catch up will be slim the rest of the way. So you really need to
Well, there's 4 games that we don't agree on, and we'll talk about them. So we'll either make headway there or not.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Pittsburgh versus the Bengals. Why did you pick against Pittsburgh in this game?
I think a lot has had to do with what happened the first game, allowing 33 points to Flacco, not being able to cover Jamar Chase at all. He had a career day against us. And then offensively with Rodgers, they haven't performed well at all these last few weeks. So I had some concerns with them, whether or not they'd be able to move the ball and score. And offensively for this game, they struggled. It wasn't easy. It was still a struggle for them. Rodgers wasn't really playing well. He's running into some sacks. But defensively, they stepped up, right? They scored twice, right? Had 2 turnovers for touchdowns. So that certainly helped. And then once Rodgers got hurt, I think Mason Rudolph came in, and they looked like a a more, functional team. They moved the ball up and down. They had some splash plays. And even though Warren got a little bit hurt and banged up, they ran the ball fairly well in the second half, and it was a different offense. I think, that was the difference in this game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, are you concerned at all about the Rodgers injury?
It's funny, yes and no, because I think he needs to improve his performance, and I think the Steelers offensively would have looked better had we had Mason Rudolph over the last 4 weeks. However, I think long term, right, the Red still got a lot of games the rest of the season, and then there's nothing like playoff football. It's at a whole different level. I prefer if Rodgers can get back to what he was beginning of the season, end of the season last year, get some of his old self back. I'd be more confident if this team makes the playoffs, with him being our starting quarterback than I would Mason at this point. At least the playoffs.
Would you rather have Rodgers just sit out this game and save him for the playoffs if the team makes the playoffs? Or would you rather just have him come back and be like, dude, you got to play better?
Well, this game is up in the air. There's a chance he will actually play because it's all about pain tolerance. If you're asking what I would do, I would have Mason start this week for sure. Whether Rodgers says he's ready to go or not. And then, next week, if, we'll see if he's some of the pain goes away, because the injury is going to be there, right? Doesn't require surgery, but it's going to take some time for it to fully heal and for him to feel better. But the following week, I would put him back in there. And, I think he knows he needs to play better. So, but I would definitely stick with Mason this week. Mason has been he's leading the week with the number ones. So, why ruin that? Since Rodgers has not practiced all week at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same camp. I think I would rather save Rodgers for the playoffs, even if it, because he's gonna have to wear some kind of protective gear on that hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was seen with. He's been seen with a like a not a full cast or anything, but a brace on his left,
like a brace or something, mm-hmm. where it doesn't get any worse. But right. I would rather. I know that he's got the Bears on lockdown, whatever the case. He's got a winning record against them, but it's not. Are you going to throw away the whole season for one game?
Exactly.
Just because you own the Bears?
Yeah. He's got to be able to protect himself. He's going to get hit, right? If he's out there. Can he absorb that? Can he land, without injuring himself if he falls? Those things you got to worry about if you're injured. So,
especially when you're, of that age.
Right.
Because, okay, you miss one game, but would you rather just miss the rest of the season because you own the Bears, I just say?
Right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Patriots handling the Jets that Thursday, which seems like eons ago, but what did you think?
Honestly, I thought they took care of business for the most part. I knew the Jets wasn't really going to pose much of a challenge. I thought the game was probably closer than it should have been. Fields is so limited, and to the point where he's actually benched now, right? Should have led with that as a story, but they announced Taylor as a starter, and Fields is pretty much cooked. I thought they played okay. They played better than the week before, but it's hard to tell when you're playing against teams that are out of it and not playing well how good your team is. So there's not a lot I think you can get from that Jets game.
Yeah, it's, overall, the only thing that really concerned me about that game against the Jets is the fact that they let them score first. And it's kind of a trend with the Patriots where they always fall behind in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make adjustments and then the defense plays better, etc. But, against a good team, falling behind is not a good thing.
Yeah. You're not going to play the Jets when you hit the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the defenses, are going to be better. If you look at Denver, look at, Pittsburgh, if they make it. I don't, as good as Henderson has been, I know he's improving. He's not going to go out and score 3 touchdowns, in the playoffs. I don't think so. The defense are much better. So
no,
again, it's hard to.
Not only that, Ron, but they're not. The Patriots running backs are explosive, but overall, I mean, if I'm looking at Henderson's stats, he was only averaging 3 yards per carry. That's
right.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the league average is 5. If you want to actually put a dent in the running game, that's to me is their Achilles heel, is that they're not a good running team.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Drake May doing this all Pro Bowl thing, I don't know if they can be putting up 20, 30 points a game if it wasn't for Drake May. I really, from now till the end of the year, they need to improve in the running game. I know that Stevenson is not on the team. I think he might come back this week. I'm not sure, but they need to improve in that running game for sure, because as the weather gets cold, not a lot of teams are going to be throwing unless you're Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, right? So that's what I like to see. I want to see them run the ball more and maybe, protect the middle of the field. I mean, Fields had 67 yards running. Nobody was spying on him at all. He just, it's and they didn't, in the second half, Fields was still running the ball. Mm-hmm. He was averaging six yards a carry. So, I that is my only downfall, is hey, protect the runners. But the good thing is, Bengals don't have a running quarterback, so it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
these last few games, right? Except with the exception of the Tampa game. Looking ahead, you got the Bengals and Giants. Those two teams aren't going to prepare them, and they're not going to help them prepare for the playoffs. Now, when they get to the Bills and Ravens, yes, for sure, those games will help them get ready for the playoffs. They'll be going against playoff caliber teams. We'll see if the Ravens are still in the hunt at that point or not. But yeah, like I said, but that's true. It's true about everybody. There's no perfect team out there right now outside, I think, to me, Philly. Philly's so far dominant than every other team out there. Every team has its flaws. Even Denver with their record, it's been all about their defense. Their offense has been lacking. So
no, there's definitely very good defenses out there. Very good defenses. I want to see, somebody match the offensive weapons that the Patriots have. And then, I think we'll have a really good match. And when I look at the Bills and Baltimore, those are two teams that the offenses, if they feel like it, can really, really excel.
I would have liked to see if Chase played. I think it would have tested the Patriots defense to see how good they are, because Flacco is a serviceable quarterback. He's played really well. I know he's playing a little bit hurt right now, banged up himself, but had he, if he was out there this week, I think this game this week against Cincinnati would be a lot closer than people think. Yeah, the Cincinnati's defense is terrible, right? And Patriots will probably score a lot. But I think the Bengals and Flacco, if Chase was out there, would be able to score some points too.
Yeah, I think it'll be more interesting, more of a competitive game.
Yeah.
But I think the Patriots will still win it. Ron, who is in your power ranking for Week 12?
Yeah. So, couple teams fell out this week with some losses. I got Philly at number 1. Like I said, I think I knew at some point they would be in the number 1 slot. I think they've reached it, and they will sustain it the rest of the season. At this point, I had Philly winning the Super Bowl. I think it's curtains for a lot of the teams in the NFC with the way they're playing. I got Indy at number 2. They got a tough road ahead, though. Rams, I moved to number 3. Seattle, I have at number 4. The Patriots, I moved up to number 5. Denver, I moved from number 10 to number 6. Green Bay at number 7. Chicago breaking into my top 10 at number 8. We'll find out how real of a team they are this week, I think. Detroit at number 9. And then I got Buffalo. I put them in at number 10. So I got Chicago and Buffalo in my top 10 this week, and falling out were the Chargers and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, Philly and the Rams have the same record. I don't know if Philly definitely has a defense. I don't know if they have the offense like the Rams do. I think they do. I think that they have a lot of, gimmicky plays, I guess you can say, with the running quarterback. I trust McVay more than I trust that Sirianni guy. At some point,
they're different, right? McVay and the Rams will scheme you up. They have a lot of talent, a lot of speed. Whereas the Eagles will just punch you in the mouth. Their offensive line is huge. You got Barkley, the best running back. You got Hurts, who himself can squat 600 plus pounds and is a dual threat quarterback. And then you got 2 great receivers on the outside and good tight ends. So they look different. And they might not score as much points as the Rams, but I think that, the Eagles offense is certainly effective. They wear the defense down. I think they, like I said, they're a far better team than most of the other teams in the NFL, including the Rams.
I don't know. I'm looking at their schedule, and that division is very soft compared to the NFC West. And then when I look at who the Eagles have been, other than the Rams in Week 3, I don't see the Giants twice. The Vikings, we know that they have their own issues. Buccaneers are not the team who they were, and they were pretty. They had, except for Mike Evans, they pretty much had everybody on there. So I'm like, who's there? And they're supposed to have like a number 1 strength of schedule, but I don't see it.
Well, they beat Detroit, right?
Yeah, but Detroit is not the same team, especially without Ben Johnson.
Well, aren't they both in our top 10 still at this point?
Yeah, but we're talking about Philly here. We're talking about, and I have Detroit all the way down, but still. I mean, I think Chicago is leading that division now, right?
I think Green Bay still is. Let me check real quick. Let me see. It might be Chicago. Chicago at 7-3. Green Bay 6-3-1. So Chicago's winning right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put the Eagles down because they're looking real good right now. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if they, I know they have the Bills at the end of the season, but then they got the Commanders twice. They got the Chargers. They got the Raiders. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that this is a soft schedule, but at the beginning of the year when we didn't know that these teams had issues, we were like, yeah, this is a tough schedule. But now, looking at it, I mean, they lost to the Broncos, which was, like we said, that was Bo Nix waking up in the fourth quarter. But I don't know. I'm not doubting what you said about the Eagles. I'm just saying, I think Seattle could give them something. I think the Rams could give them something, but they're probably going to get the number one spot. So any team is going to have to come into Philadelphia and beat them.
Yeah.
Who's in my top one? The Eagles, we just talked about. I got New England at number 2. I got the Rams at 3. Got Denver at number 4. I got Seattle at number 5. I got Indy at number 6. I got Buffalo at number 7. I got Green Bay at number 8. Got Detroit at 9. And then I got Chicago at number 10.
Yeah, so same teams I think we both have, right? This might be the second or third time that we've had the same teams in our top 10. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue with any of those teams. At one point when I did this, I had Buffalo out and San Fran in their place, but, San Fran I think is pretty close, but I have them in the outside, the top 10 right now. I would probably have them at like 11th or 12th if we went that far.
Yeah, the only team that I'm really disappointed that it's not on here is Tampa Bay because, but they're just something's up with that team. Something's up with Baker.
Like they do this every year, though, right? Every year, at one point, they're like right around 500, messing around with like, will they win the division and sneak in, as like a wild card team, and then. Once they get hot, they show up in the playoffs and they can actually compete. They've sustained a lot of injuries. I'm not making any excuse for them for sure. But I think they'll play better when they start to get some of these guys back. I
mean, they have the same record as Carolina in wins. I know that Carolina is behind because of a loss, but I don't know. I mean, they're undefeated in the division. Carolina is 2-1. I'm not saying that Carolina is going to overtake them, but, last year they had no competition. I think the year before was the same thing. Yeah. They had no competition. So, I don't know. And I like Carolina this week against San Francisco. So, let's just go into our picks for our week number 12, Ron. And let's start with the Thursday night game. Buffalo Bills at Houston Texans. The spread is 5.5 for Buffalo. 43.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, no Stroud. He was declared out. We talked about that already. 5.5. I think Houston's defense is really good, but I don't think it's going to be enough with them and Mills to pull an upset. So I'm taking Buffalo to win this one.
I feel the same way, and I would actually, to be honest, I might take the under. Buffalo's going to win this game, but I think Houston will stop Cook from running, and then Josh Allen's going to have to do his hero thing again. But like we mentioned, with no Stroud, I don't know where the points are going to come from. It's not like Jacksonville,
right?
Where you can still score in the fourth quarter. Yeah. But maybe the Buffalo defense has gotten better. I don't know. But yeah, give me Buffalo to win this game. The next game, New York Giants at Detroit Lions. This is the second highest spread, 10.5 for Detroit. 15.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit. I think they'll go way over 10.5, to be honest with you. They're coming off a loss. They were, I don't want to say embarrassed, but it was a tough loss at Philly, so they're going to want to get back on track. They're going to look to go out and score, 30 points at least on a terrible Giants team. So give me Detroit to win pretty easily.
Yeah, last year, I think they played something like 14 indoor games This game was outside against Philly, and with that Philly defense and Goff with that outside coldness, he's just not the same guy. I know he's from California and blah blah blah, but I don't know. I mean, I still would pick Detroit, but this is a different season. I don't know if that cold weather in Green Bay, that cold weather in Chicago is for them. I'm starting to have my doubts about Detroit. Next game, Minnesota Vikings at Green Bay Packers. Packers favored by 8.5. 41.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay tends to play down to their competition a little bit, especially on offense, but McCarthy has not played well at all. They're going to have an interesting offseason. They got to figure out what they're doing at the quarterback position next year. So give me Green Bay to win this one.
Yeah, and Green Bay has been up and down. And I think Josh Jacobs is out this game. I'm still going to pick Green Bay, but I think it's going to be closer to the 8.5. Vikings defense is good, but like you said, that quarterback is JJ's terrible. Give me Green Bay to win this game. Next game, got the Seahawks at the Titans. Seahawks are favored by 13. 40.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle. They should win this one pretty easily. It could be like a trap game though if they, if for whatever reason they show up and take Tennessee too lightly. But I think Seattle's well coached and they'll come out and take care of business.
Why did you think, other than Darnold making all those dumb mistakes, why was that the only reason why they lost last week?
I didn't get to really watch the game too much. I mean, the Rams, they can do some, crazy things on defense as well. But, I think for Seattle to have success, they have to be able to run the ball. And I don't know how effective they were running the ball against the Rams last week. So, you don't want Darnold going out there and throwing like 40 something times, against good teams. So, I don't know, what caused them to lose last week, but, the Rams are a good opponent. So
that was the game where I had, I was thinking about it. Wow, this is, is it going to be the Rams are going to win this game, or is it going to be like Stafford? Or I knew it wasn't going to be Darnold, but I still picked Seattle because I wanted that Drake May MVP to go up, but that wasn't the case. So I'm going to say, just like Darnold can have a bad game, but not 2 games in a row. I don't think that would be good. Or it's legacy or Seattle. Give me Seattle to win this game. The next game, New York Jets at Baltimore Ravens. Again, Ravens are favored by 13. It's 44.5 is the over and under. Ron, who'd you go with?
Yeah, Baltimore. Pretty easily as well. I can see this one going over 13 is, Baltimore's clicking. They won, I think, 4 in a row or 5 in a row at this point. So they'll look to keep it going against the Jets. Should be able to manage that pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think the Jets are going to try to limit how long Lamar has the ball because they ran it a lot against the Patriots. I think that it's the same game plan with Baltimore, except maybe a better quarterback. I guess you can say Tyrod Taylor is maybe better, not by a lot.
Right.
I still like Baltimore to win this game. I don't know if it's going to be over 13. I think the Jets know that they have to not have the Baltimore offense on the field. But the Ravens are still going to win this game. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars at Arizona Cardinals. Jaguars are favored by 2.5. 47.5 is a point total. Ron, what's your prediction?
Taking Jacksonville. I didn't get to watch Arizona with Brissett play last week. I saw some highlights, but Jacksonville looked impressive last week offensively. I imagine they'll be able to keep that going against Arizona and win. Surprised the spread is just 2.5 here, but I think that goes to show, Vegas probably doesn't fully trust Jacksonville, at least offensively at this point. But I think they'll go out and win this one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the trust is not there yet, but to be honest with you, it's not that I trust Trevor Lawrence. I think they have a good coach and that Duval guy. So not Duval, I forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about, the new head coach. Next game, the Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. This is an afternoon game, 4:30, 4:25 to be exact. 3.5 for Philly, 48.5 is a point spread. Ron, who'd you go with?
Yeah, I'm going with Philly. I said they were obviously the top team in the NFL. Divisional games are going to, they can be rough. Dallas looked impressive, but the Raiders are terrible. So you can't take anything from the way the Cowboys played this past week. So I think Philly is the much better team. Dak's not going to have that type of success against Philly's front line, front seven, and secondary. So I got Philly winning this one.
3.5 sounds right because Dallas can score. They have Pickens, they have Lamb, they have two great receivers. I just don't know with that Philly defense if, how many points they're going to put up. Especially
I don't think although Dallas's defense looked impressive, again, you got to take everything. There's context, right? They looked impressive against the Raiders, who have no idea what they're doing, cannot run the ball, cannot pass the ball. Their offensive line is the worst in the NFL by far. So, as good as the win was last week for Dallas, I think it comes crashing down this week.
Yeah, I mean, I have Philly also to win this game, but I think Dallas might put up a fight because it's a divisional game, but give me the Eagles to win this game. Another divisional game, Atlanta Falcons at New Orleans Saints. Saints are favored by 2.5. 39.5 is the over and under. Ron, who'd you go with?
I'm taking the Saints. Listen, I've talked about Tyler Shuck. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. He's, thrown 5 or 6 touchdowns the last couple weeks. No one's really talking about how good he's played. So I think he'll keep building on that. They don't have a lot of weapons or anything like that. I think they need to add around him. But give me Shuck and the Saints to win this one.
It's the return of Cousins, and we know that he's basically cooked by this point. You're really just throwing him out there because you owe him money. You don't want him to just collect the checks for free. Give me New Orleans to win this game. They are home. It's a tough place to win when they're in the dome. So give me the Saints. This is a Sunday night game. Tampa Bay Bucks at Los Angeles Rams. Rams are favored by 7 points. 49.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, it's hard not to go with the Rams, how well they're playing. And then you look at the Bucks, they're still, they're playing okay, not great, but they're missing too many players. And I don't know where Bucky Irvin is at this point. And Godwin, they need those two guys to get back like ASAP. But I want to take the Rams to win this one, this week.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams as well. I think that, I don't know if Tampa can match the scoring that the Rams are going to do in that game. I just don't, even with, their blitzing schemes and they have a pretty good defense, but you let Josh Allen last week come out like a superhero. And I know that was Josh Allen. We're talking about Matthew Stafford, but too many receivers. McVay will come up with a scheme. So give me the Rams to win this game. Monday night game. Carolina Panthers at San Francisco 49ers. 6.5 is the over, and it's the spread for the Niners. 49.5 is the point total. Ron, who'd you go with?
Yeah, Carolina is one of those teams that Jekyll and Hyde, right? There's some games you're watching and you're like, this team's terrible. And others, you're like, they're pulling off wins left and right. Their quarterback, didn't he throw for 300 yards this past week, Bryce Young? So he looked pretty good. I'm still taking San Francisco. They've been consistent all season. I think they'll win this one. I don't know what you're going to get from Carolina. So give me San Fran, McCaffrey and tight end and Purdy back and everything seeming to go in their direction now. I'll take San Francisco to win this one.
Although this game wasn't my upset special, I would have picked it because I'm going with Carolina. I think that once they see that the Bucs lose to the Rams, they're gonna get up for this game. I think that Carolina can take that division if they win against San Francisco. So, if they do go over Tampa Bay and win that division, or at least be in first place when we do our Week 13, I think that Carolina should be taking not serious like as a contender, but at least to get in the playoffs now. So I'm gonna go with Carolina. I've been going with them for a couple weeks now. I think they might be the hot team in the NFC that no one's talking about. So give me Carolina. Ron, let's talk about our games, and let's start with New England at Cincinnati. The point spread is 8.5 towards New England. 49.5 is the point total. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, like I said, I think with, had Jamar Chase been available for this game, I think it'd be a very close upset special type of game that could happen. But I don't see Cincinnati having enough offensively. And then their defense, like I said, they're going to give up 30 points. So I got Patriots winning this one 31-24, just because Cincinnati just will not have enough, offensively to win.
No hindrance to this game as well. So that doesn't mean that they can't pressure you the ball, but the defense is terrible.
They can't pressure. They can't
the secondary is terrible. They just have a bad defense, and I think that with the Patriots' explosive wide receivers, explosive running backs, this should be a runaway game, to be honest with you. I have them winning 35-14. And Cincinnati will probably score first because that's the MO for the Patriots, and then they'll do the adjustment, and then they'll win out. And then, we're talking about 9 wins in a row, and that hasn't happened in a couple of seasons around here since old number 12. So let's keep it going. We won the number 1 spot. That's what we chasing after. The next game, Pittsburgh at Chicago. Chicago is favored by 3 points. 45.5 is the over and under. Ron, who'd you go with?
Yeah, Chicago playing pretty decent ball. They're in first place, right? But, Pittsburgh, their defense specifically, has played well now consistently for the last few weeks. I think they got that part going. I think, and I mentioned last week, the Steelers aren't going to be favored for any games this season. I probably won't pick the Steelers at all to win. But I'm changing my mind here because of how well I think our defense matches up with the Bears, and specifically any team whose quarterback holds on to the ball long. They're going to have a tough time against the Steelers defense. And I can see, even though Caleb can run around and stuff, I can see a 6 or 7 sack game. And I think our defense will keep us in. Offensively, it all depends on who's playing the quarterback position. I don't know what you're going to get. I think Mason plays, he can go out and put up a lot of points. If Rodgers plays, he's going to play really conservative, and he'll play to not lose the game. So I'm going with a Pittsburgh win here, which will be a slight upset here. But I got 24-17 as the score.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go with Chicago Bears because they got a 3-game win streak. They're at home, they're 3-1, so they take care of business. But then I just look at their very interesting stat. They're -6 points differential. That means that their defense is terrible.
Yeah, they're not that good. They're not that good. Average.
Even I don't even know their average. I mean, they're giving up 264 points. That's the most in that division. And we're talking about everyone else is around 200, except for Minnesota. I just can't trust that number anymore. It's just too high. And I know the Steelers, they love to wait around and wait for you to make the mistake, not them.
Yeah.
So yeah, just give me Pittsburgh to win this game. I'm gonna switch it around. I think that they scored 28 points. I think that they need to be in the 20s to win this game because Chicago I think they're gonna score 17. So give me Pittsburgh to win this game, 28-17. I trust Ben Johnson, but I don't trust that defense. And I know the defensive coordinator is Dennis Allen, which he was okay with Raiders and he was okay with the Saints, but that's too many points for me. To me. So give me Chicago. What's your upset special run?
Yeah, I went to the Cleveland Raiders game, and probably no one's going to be watching this one. It's probably the smallest, point total, I think, for the week, I would imagine, right? At 36.5. It is. And then, so Vegas, for some reason, favored in this one by 3.5. Is that right? Yep. Vegas favored at 3.5. I'm taking Cleveland. I know their quarterback. I talked already about how terrible they both are. But I think the difference between these two teams is that Cleveland has a good defense, a very good defense, and the Raiders' offensive line is atrocious. So I see another performance where Gino goes out and he's running all over the place for his life. Genty can't get anything going in the run game, and they probably completely abandon that altogether. And, they make one or two mistakes, and Schroeder just does enough, to not lose the game. So I got Cleveland winning 20-14 as my upset special.
Yeah, we just talked about how Cleveland, even though they have a good defense, the Raiders, 36.5 points seems like a lot. I don't know if these teams can even get to 30 combined.
Yeah. I'm going 34 as my point total in that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm still going to take the Raiders just because they're at home. In Cleveland, it's a mess, but I don't know. I don't feel good about taking the Raiders here, but I think that they'll win. They win that game because I know Gino's cooked, but he's a little bit better than Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. I would think.
Yeah. Can he do anything against a solid defense, though?
Can Genty? But I know he's being hit behind the line. But Genty hasn't. I think last week he only had 7 yards. It was. Yeah, he didn't
run a lot at all. They barely gave him any. They threw the ball to him a lot, but they basically gave up on running the ball.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. My upset special run, Indy at Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by 3.5. The spread, anyways, the points total is 50.5. I'm taking Indy here, and I'm only saying that because if they don't win this game, they're not gonna be the number one. I think the number one right now is Denver, right? But they have a bye week, so they're not even playing. But if they lose this game, they're gonna be looking up. Well, they're looking at the Patriots right now, but they could fall 2 games behind if they don't win this game. So I think there's a little bit of desperation because they don't want the number 3 slot come the playoffs. So I got Indy winning 32-24. I don't even know, because to be honest with you, who can you trust in Kansas City to, like, you know, they don't have receivers. The tight end is barely, I feel like one half he plays good and the other half he takes it off.
Yeah.
I just don't trust it. I don't just trust it.
I'm going with Kansas City on that one, and the reason why is because it's a tough place to play. I think they're 4-1 at home, and I think I would not count Kansas City out of it yet. And if they lose this game and that would be their 6th loss, I believe. It'd be hard to imagine them losing and still fighting their way back into a playoff spot, given the challenges, of their offense right now. So I feel like this is almost a must-win for them. And so they need to win this one, and I think they'll pull it off at home.
I mean, right now they're in 9th place. They're 2 games out.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm looking at their division right now, they're 4-1 at home, as you mentioned. I think that if Indy is going to take themselves serious, because if they lose this game and Jacksonville ends up winning, Jacksonville is only behind by 1 game.
Yeah.
So they need to get it going, and then they make all those moves and during the trade for nothing. These are the type of teams that they need to beat.
Mm-hmm.
So and this could, loss here, and that makes Bravo odds go up to getting that head coach of the year award. So there's a lot riding on this game, and that's why I picked Indy to win this game.
Is there a reason this is not a primetime game? I guess they probably didn't see Indy being this good, beginning of the season. But
when can they do the swap? Is it after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We still got a couple weeks.
Yeah, because I was thinking that maybe because there's no more international games, they can do the swap. Mm-hmm. But I guess, it didn't make sense after Thanksgiving. But yeah, because I know they're going to have games in Christmas again, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ron, before we end this episode, what do you have to tell the Steelers out there? Are there, what are they looking for this week?
Hey, they're looking for a win any way possible, by any means necessary, right? So I think they want their defense to continue to play well. If you were to survey the Steeler fans, I would say 80% of the fans want Mason Rudolph to play because they like what they saw from him and they trust him. He's been with the team for several years. They trust him, and they have not been happy with what they've seen out of Rodgers the last few games. So, but yeah, I mean, we need a win here for sure. Baltimore is right on our heels. They got an easy game this week. You expect them to win, so we can't falter. We still got a tough road ahead, including Baltimore twice. So you got to win this game to keep, a 1-game lead before you play them, because it's going to be a tough road ahead with these teams that we got. So, go out and enjoy this week. I think they have a good chance. It's a winnable game, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a very winnable game for the Steelers. The Patriots, this is going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be 9 in a row, and that number 1 spot just getting sweeter and sweeter. I know Buffalo, I'm not saying that this game with Buffalo against Houston is going to be a cakewalk, but, I'll be watching. I know there's no shroud on this game, but this is definitely Thursday night game. This I'll be watching. Let's just say that.
If let's say both teams, Patriots and Buffalo, win this week,
we're still 2-game lead.
What's your confidence? Yeah, I was going to say, what's your confidence level on like winning the division? You think Buffalo will catch up?
I mean, even that game that we have against Buffalo comes, after a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very confident, very confident. As a matter of fact, there's some bets out there about which teams that you don't think are gonna win the division, or teams that you don't think will make the playoffs. I'm not saying I put any money down on the Buffalo not making the playoffs, but the division. Yeah,
I think they're favored, aren't they?
They're still favored, yeah.
Win the division, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's some plus if you don't think that they're gonna win the division.
Right.
So I'm just saying, do what you must.
Right.
Do what you must. So next week we'll have week 13. We'll have our holiday special. Maybe I don't know if it's gonna be cold down here. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like, but enjoy yourselves, and then we'll have episode 139. With that said, I say peace.
Peace.
All right, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.
Sim Podcast Show.